So this will be our last video of the year. The crew, Blackboat Crew, is already preparing Christmas party, so it might be a little bit loud in the background. Please excuse that. And this video will probably be the first one in the new year, because we're all taking a bit of time off. But we didn't want it to miss showing you our Sony new work guide. Some of you might have a little bit of a déjà vu, because we have already shown you a video on the Blackboat.
The onboarding kit.
Our onboarding kit, exactly.
Yes, for all our new colleagues.
For all our new colleagues, yes. Which contains a lot of insights about how we work, how we communicate, how we collaborate, when to use what channel, etc. We had our company meeting on Friday, and we have published our long-waited for starter kit. A booklet that basically and we developed this last week for Sony Music, and they allowed us to share some of the content with you guys. So thank you so much for that, Sony Music. And then it basically comes in an envelope. It's a kit like this. It's put together from some cards that you can exchange. That was also the idea with it, because some of the tools change so quickly, and if you have a card that's based on, let's say, Teams, and then you decide you have Slack also, whatever, you want to exchange the card, so this is really easily possible.
And not forget, everything has to be digital, right?
So
we are always excited to also share a few
to have something
physical
in your hands.
stuff. Yes.
Yeah, that's really a different energy, different vibe. And also a little bit different appreciation, I think, because someone has put a lot of love into it.
Yeah.
And you developed the new work guide with Sony over a year. So maybe you want to say something about like how did you make a decision for those kind of cards, and what's in there, and what was the idea?
Yeah. So we started with Sony about a year ago, when they asked us to support them in the rollout of Office 365. And you might know that it's quite essential to have some certain kind of guidelines in this whole transformation process. So actually we started in the beginning of the year to develop all these guidelines together with our pilot group. That was one of the labels of Sony Music, one of the labels sitting in Berlin, Epic. Hi, Epic. And together with them, over the course of several months, we developed all these guidelines that kind of constitute how Sony Music, the whole company, wants to work together in this whole new setup with Office 365 and beyond. So maybe let's take a quick look.
Yeah, let's take a look.
So let's see, our new work guide. So beautiful. Katinka did a great job. I think the first card is maybe the most essential card, because it basically says the rules. It is how we want to work together, what's our culture, what's our attitude. So I'm really happy that this is the first card. The other cards, you might recognize a few of these. It's all about how to use the channels, how to communicate. This one here, I think, was super important, because whenever we work with a company that introduces Office 365, one of the main questions is, so how do we actually use it? How do we structure teams? What kind of teams do we need? What kind of channels? And obviously for every company, it's super different. We did a really nice workshop together with Sony to understand what kind of teams they need, because there is, of course, on the one side, the departments. On the other side, there are lots of artists, lots of labels, so we needed to find a nice structure on how to organize it. And we can find the results here, so everyone in the company knows how to use Teams. We also share a little bit about respecting someone else's time and how to have nice meetings. And I actually like this one a lot as well, the checklist. It's the last card, which is really like the sum up of everything inside. So if you follow these basic rules, you're basically good to go. So really happy with this guide.
What is your favorite part? What do you think is most essential for?
It's the first and the last part, actually. I think if you understand like the way we want to work together, like here, what's our attitude? How do we communicate? How are we with each other? And then having the checklist on the last page, so you can always go back to this checklist and see, am I still in the right setting?
Last week we packed 500 of these starter kits here. I should have known before, it takes a lot of time, because I would have asked some students to support
Thanks
us.
to the whole crew who did it.
For next time. But what is Sony going to do with these starter kits right now?
Yes, so actually after we developed all these guidelines with the pilot group, we now introduced it to the whole company. So as of last week, when they had like this huge meeting, they kind of gave it out to everyone, and so everyone in the company now knows how to use the whole new setup. And we also did a pioneers program. So in the course of this year, we trained a few people in the company who kind of take over this role now of being a pioneer in the company, to make sure that all the new setup is being followed up, and it's not like, you know, once you did a change and then it's over, but you make sure it's continuously going on.
Yes. Nice.
And this will help for sure.
Yeah, actually, I've made 2 other starter kits since last week for 2 other clients. They're a bit more, let's say they have about double amount of cards, but there's just more different topics in there. I think it's a really nice idea as a sort of company manual also. So basically you can extend this. I mean, this is, I don't want to say basic because it's quite in depth already, but it's the basic communication rules. But also you can you can put a lot of culture topics in there. You can put whatever you want to put in there. There's a lot of possibilities.
It is, and the good thing is it's not something like we brought in, but we developed together with the pilot group, so it really fits the company. It's everything they need to know and need to have, and that's, I guess, what you did with all the other projects as well.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, it's really
Thank
nice.
you so much for watching. Maybe you have a question, maybe you have a comment, please leave it in the comment section, and there's another video here, and don't forget to subscribe here. Like.